Okay guys, here's the last one we'll do for today. Okay, using ideas of theorems about angle relationships to determine if the set of lines are parallel. Now, yesterday I had you working on figuring out what angles are congruent if the lines are parallel. Today, we're going to go the opposite way. How can you tell if the lines are parallel from the angles? Okay. So what would happen to those lines if the angle of pair relationships exist? Meaning, what if you get a problem that looks like this? That this is 110 and this, oops, not that one. This is 110 degrees. What type of angles are those two? If you said corresponding, you're right. And because our corresponding angles are congruent, therefore the lines must be parallel. Okay, there's one way to tell if lines are parallel. Let's look at another way. Okay. What if I tell you this is 45 degrees and this is 45 degrees? Now I'm making these examples up so they don't have to necessarily be consistent with each other. 45 and 45, are those lines parallel? Yes, they are, because of alternating interior. The alternating interior angles are congruent, therefore the lines are parallel. What about if I were to change it to be the following? I said, tell me if this was congruent. Does that show me that line 1 and line 2 are parallel? No, it does not. All that shows me is that vertical angles are there, and we know that. Okay. What if I said that this was 105 degrees? Does that show me that they're parallel? Yes, it does. And the reason for that is our same side interior angles add to 180. They are parallel. Line 1 and line 2 are parallel because of it. Okay, guys, it's the exact same as what we did yesterday, but backwards. If you can show that those angles are congruent, then the lines must be parallel. If you can't, then the lines are not. Okay, then the lines are not. Make sure you have all the converse theorems written down. Now, really, if you have the theorems from yesterday written down, you can just write the converse. And what's the converse of an if-then statement? Well, you just flip it, remember? You make the hypothesis the new conclusion, and the old hypothesis, or the old conclusion, the new hypothesis. Okay, just flip them. Okay, just flip them around. So make sure that those are in your notes. Okay, the next thing is the transitive property of parallel lines. And what this says, if two lines are parallel to the same line, then they're all parallel. So here I say if P is parallel to Q, and then I'm going to change color so you see this, Q is parallel to R, what we can say is all three of those lines are parallel to each other. Think about this. If you've ever ridden the CTA, or the Chicago Transit Authority downtown, you've got the three track lines. Okay, the two lines are parallel, which the trains run on, and then you've got the third line, which is for the power, which is also parallel. Now, they're not all the same track, but they're all parallel to each other. You can have more than two lines parallel to each other. Okay, and that's what the transitive property of parallel lines state. Remember, transitive property is kind of the, if you give a mouse a cookie, he asks for a glass of milk. If you give him a glass of milk, he'll want a napkin. If you put the very first if with the very last then, this says if P is parallel to Q, Q is parallel to R, then P is parallel to R. It's just our transitive property, guys, going back and forth, using it over and over and over again. Okay, so here's the next thing I'm going to ask you. Which set of lines are parallel? So that's 70 degrees, that's 50 degrees, 66 degrees, and 54 degrees. Is it lines 1 and 3, line 2 and 4, or none? Take a minute, see if you can figure that out. If you said line 4 and line 2, You're correct. And the reason for that is 70 plus 50 is 120 degrees, and 66 plus 54 is 120 degrees. What you've got when I take, when I take this away, okay, if I move this and this, you have corresponding angles, guys. Lower right, both equaling 120 degrees. Therefore, because we can show our corresponding angles are congruent, those two lines must be parallel. Okay, those two lines must be parallel. Give section 3.3 a try here. We will be taking a quiz by the end of this week. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to have you guys do a review over these 3 sections, and then we'll quiz most likely on Friday. I'm still not sure when I'll be back. It may be tomorrow, it may be Friday, maybe next week. We'll wait and see. But I'll continue to post these up here for you guys so you can keep watching these. And I'll post a review guide for you. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Shoot me an email. I'm here to help. Okay, guys, have a good rest of the day.